Heads of State is a brand new action comedy that came out a few days ago on Prime Video. And heads up, because this movie actually has a lot of actors and actresses that I'm a big fan of. It stars John Cena, Idris Elba, Jack Quaid, Priyanka Chopra.
Yes, mother! Yes, mother!
Yeah, sorry about that. Also stars Carla Gugino and Patty Considine, among other people. Really good cast. So John Cena in this movie is Will Derringer, the President of the United States. He's a former action star turned politician. And Idris Elba plays the British Prime Minister. He is a former soldier turned politician. After they meet together for a summit that's supposed to be strengthening the bond between their nations, Air Force One, which they are traveling on, is attacked. After Air Force One is attacked, these two politicians who don't really like each other have to put aside their differences and try to figure out a way out of their situation, to figure out who attacked them, who's gunning for them, and to get to the bottom of a mysterious conspiracy that threatens to overthrow both of their governments and possibly kill a lot of people. I'm always down for a good buddy action comedy, and like I said, this movie did have a lot of actors and actresses that I am a big fan of. We do get a few of these per year, and sometimes when they don't hit, they can be among the worst movies that you've ever seen in your entire life. But when they do hit, I don't know, there's something about them, man. I mean, going all the way back to Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour. You see, this movie doesn't have a great story, and while it does have fun action and some other things going on, the bottom line is this movie has to sink or swim based on the chemistry and the relationship between Will Derringer and Sam Clark. If these guys are not good together, if they're not funny, if we don't care about their relationship or their dynamic, there's a very good possibility that the rest of the movie would tank. I like their chemistry because they have such opposing viewpoints on so many things. They're such different people, and that's always great when you can have a great contrast in movies like this. John Cena is much more bubbly and optimistic. He's kind of naive, but he also has a good heart. And then you have the cynical, like skeptical, suspicious British Prime Minister played by Idris Elba. Their arguments are really entertaining. There's some occasionally really good, funny dialogue between them that I thought really worked for most of the movie. You do feel invested in their arc and in their relationship growing and evolving over the course of the movie. This movie also has some pretty fun side characters, starting with Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid just hops into this movie, and I'll be honest, I didn't know he was in the movie before I saw the movie, before I actually sat down and watched the movie. Jack Quaid is normally, you know, he's cast as a certain type of character in a movie. What I like about this one is he has some of that, but in this role, he also gets to be kind of the badass that we almost never get to see him in other movies, and he has some really cool moments. But shout out to Jack Quaid. He was one of the most entertaining characters in this movie. Also, shout out to Priyanka Chopra. She shows up in this movie. She's a complete and total badass. Also, she really did a good job at making me lock in, because I'll be honest, when she was on screen, I had a very difficult time concentrating. That woman is too damn fine.
Slow down, baby.
Oh, shit. Not only does she carry the movie in most of the action sequences, but I like that her character is kind of punny. No pun intended, or I guess pun intended actually does work here, and I thought that that actually lended some good levity to the film. The movie does have some fun action sequences, a little bit of good camera movement, and a lot of stuff in camera so that you could see it. A few too many cuts for sure. But for the most part, I think that most of the action here, the chases, the gunfights, the hand-to-hand stuff, all of that is actually really well done, and there's some really awesome moments that you can sit back, turn your brain off, and watch and have a good time with. Not to get like too political or in the weeds or whatever, but I like the message that this movie had. This movie has one of those messages about like putting aside your differences to work together to create something better for the world. And even if you're at opposing viewpoints, you can still come together, you can compromise. I thought that was a good message. It's only like surface level, obviously, but for a movie that doesn't really have anything else of substance going on, that was a nice little message that I took away from it. This movie is kind of a mess. Like, I can't highly recommend it because it's only entertaining because you can turn your brain off and you don't have to think about things. But if you were like me to occasionally turn that brain on, you start noticing things like how all the villains in the movie are a complete and utter waste of time. Patty Considine is a really good actor. Unfortunately, he's just kind of wasted in this movie. None of the villains are given the time to develop. You don't really care about them. They're not fleshed out. There is a twist involving one of the villains in this movie that honestly didn't really land, didn't really have any impact, and it happens way too late in the movie for me to give a shit. Also, the longer the movie goes on, the more needlessly convoluted that it gets. This script just gets muddled down with a lot of superfluous details that don't really matter all that much, and it just makes the movie feel more confusing than it needs to be, especially when you can't really figure out people's motivations by the end of the film. The character arcs feel a little bit underdeveloped, specifically for a romance that is at the center of the movie. There was an opportunity to really develop this and flesh it out and make it have more impact, and instead they kind of do a half-assed job at developing this romance and this relationship. So ultimately it just feels like it doesn't really go anywhere, and it feels like the movie kind of wastes your time with that. That was kind of disappointing. And listen, overall the movie is goofy and silly and kind of absurd, but it's in the third act that it really jumps the rails and turns into something else. It becomes laughably cartoonish in the third act to an unholy degree that just took me out of the movie a few times, where I'm just like,
Jesus fucking Christ.
in the end, you should see this movie for 3 very valid, very good reasons. Really good chemistry between the leads, some fun action sequences, and Priyanka's ridiculously fine ass. You should see the movie for all 3 of those. Anything outside of that, you're probably gonna be a little disappointed. This movie was fun, but it was dumb fun. I still had somewhat of a good time. I'm gonna leave this one in the Daily Planet. Those are my thoughts on Heads of State. Tell me, what's your favorite buddy action comedy of all time? You can go back to any era. Go ahead and put that in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show. And if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.